Okay, here I'm creating an extrusion off the aorta from this face. I'll probably go right down one more right about there. And what I want to do is have the extrusion um, represent the renal artery. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to create a curve, a CV curve, like this. And it might be helpful for me actually to look at this curve. So I've got the curve selected. I now change the orthographic window top and I hit the letter F to say show me what's selected. Okay, and it's ignoring me. Alright, let's see if I can find it some other way. Okay. Where is my curve? So it looks like my curve is way, way back here. That's why I wanted to get it from the top. So it's 0, 0, 0. And I want to be, pretty close to at least where going to hide my grid for a second because it's just not helping with anything. So right here. Here's my curve. The front. Oh, I'm sorry. I see. For some reason, it doesn't want to show me the curve in this window here. Let's try show all. Alright, let's go. Oh, there it is, way down there. I'm sorry. So the curve's here, but its pivot point is up at 0, 0, 0. So we're going to do a modify center pivot. So I have the curve where I want it to be. And again, I've used this little device here. This says L4. And if you look up a little further, T12. So these are, I created these things by saying create annotation. So let's do one here. So I picked this vertebra. This is obviously L1 since that's L12. And I'm going to say create annotation. And I'm going to type in L1. And you can see by default it gives me this little arrow pointing at that object. So that's just a way of giving me kind of a marker. Now what I haven't figured out yet, I will look into it, is how do I change the color of these so they're easier to read. I'm sure it's in the color settings somewhere. I just haven't gone through the trouble of looking it up yet. But let's go back now if we can. There's my curve. So I want my curve to be up at around L1 because I know the celiac trunk is generally considered to be above L1 and the renal artery a little bit below L1, and the superior mesenteric artery is generally about a centimeter below the celiac trunk. So we're right about this level. So again, I don't want to make pipes. I want to make more natural looking things. So I'm just going to bend this a little bit, and I can do more to it later. If I want to really get the curve more bending, I could say, because I forgot, I could just say curve point, and then I'm moving this yellow dot along the curve. Let me go in a little bigger so you can see it better. So when I said curve point and I clicked the left mouse, software made this yellow dot, and I can move it with the left mouse anywhere I want. And then I can say curves, insert not, and it gives me a choice. In this case, I really only want to do it at the selection. I'm going to come back, and if I say control vertex, you should see an extra, there we go, it's an extra not right there. That wasn't there before, and I can use that to add just another little bit of subtlety. And again, I want to do the same thing from the other view. I don't want these vessels looking like PVC pipes where they're perfectly straight. Maybe the same thing with the curve out here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that last point, the actual original starting point of this curve, the box, if you will, right up onto my polygon. And then I'm going to change my polygon to the actual polygon. And one more time, double check that my CV is right on that surface. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is grab the face of the polygon. Let's take this one, which is on the side. And I'm going to hold down the shift key. Oops. Hold down the shift key. First I'm going to hold down the shift key. Darn it, I'm sorry. First I'm going to I'll get the curve selected. Hold down the shift key. And say face. Now I got the face and the curve both selected, okay? And then what I can do is go under Edit Mesh, Extrude, and when I get this option box, I can say create along the selected curve. Now I'm telling it right now one division, so watch what happens. I'm going to get this box, all right? Now, the reason I said one is because I find it easier to look here. So I got this, when I said extrude, like you always do, I got this polygon extrude options box here. I'm going to bring the left arrow on top of the word offset and slide it. And that's the wrong thing, I beg your pardon, on the word divisions, I'm sorry. And there you go. So I can decide how many divisions I want to make. Okay, and then when I say 3, see now I've got a much softer curve. And again, like any other polygon, I can certainly go under the mesh tools and insert edge loops and create more mesh, more divisions or edges. Okay. And now I can do the same process we did before where I can grab, grab the edge, or the face I should say at the end, edit mesh, extrude again. Okay. And this time I'm just going to click a box, shrink that face. So I've extruded it once, I hit the letter G, which means repeat the extrusion operation, and I move that back in. And I'm going to, but after I move it in, I also like to shrink it just a little bit, just to try to avoid accidentally having that edge of that stick out. So now if we move this box out of the way, you can see we've got an art. Now that's a lot longer than what the assignment asked for. We were just asked to do a stub, but I just wanted you to get the idea of what that curve, how you can add, if you did have a longer vessel, if you had like the splenic artery, which is quite long, you could very easily use that curve. And let me just show you one more time. Under the extrude menu, use a selected curve when you do it. So you select the face, and you have a curve selected, and then you say extrude, and then it extrudes along that curve, and then you add divisions to make it more subtly follow or more smoothly follow the curve you created.